Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelly and I am so glad you guys are here today. I picked up the new Sigma Beauty full Alice in Wonderland collection. I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna get the palette because I thought the brushes by themselves were too expensive and I wasn't sure about the rest of it, but I have the whole thing. This is the whole kit. Don't be like Shelly and buy the whole kit unless this really speaks to you. I'm going to tell you right now. So let's unpack this stuff as we go. There is a full brush kit. I love Sigma brushes. These just seem like they were really expensive, but you're buying the collection, you're buying the limited edition, but you're also buying the Sigma quality. Did I need the clutch that comes along with it? I didn't need it, but how pretty is that? Now I felt like I wanted a sparkly clutch for the holidays, and that convinced me that with the brushes and the clutch, they're calling it a makeup bag, but to me this is a fancy clutch that you wear with your black dress out to a fancy night out. Purple disco ball. It's beautiful, and it has a nice metal placard on it that says Disney Alice in Wonderland, and it's got Sigma on the other side, and I'm feeling very fancy in this. The brushes. Okay, so you got 5 brushes in this collection. They each have a little character on it. So we've got like what looks to be a big powder brush that looks like it has Alice on it. We've got another contoured, I guess they're both kind of angled, but this one almost I think looks more like a bronzer blush brush, and that has the Cheshire Cat. We've got a domed blending brush that looks like it has the elixir on it. We've got a smaller application brush that looks like it has the watch on it from the rabbit. And then the last one is a fine pencil brush that has the key on it. Let's see here, how did I do? So E47 is a multitasker. Quickly apply foundation, cream blush, or contour. Air contour brush, sweep on blush or bronzer. Hey, I'm getting pretty good at this stuff. Max small tapered blending brush, soft and blend crease color. Detail blending brush, precisely blend out harsh lines. And then a E30 pencil, soften liner along the lash lines. I did pretty good at figuring out what each of these brushes are for. I'm getting better, you guys. I'm not a professional makeup artist, not a professional YouTuber. Just a lady of a certain age who likes playing with makeup. Sigma does a pretty good job of giving you their propaganda. I get one of these every single time. They also like to send you their Sig Magic Brush Shampoo, one of these little packets. We have a lip duo. This is the Alice in Wonderland Sigma Lip Duo Lip Gloss and Lip Cream. So it says Mad About Lips. So the lip gloss is in Singing Violets and the lip cream is in Kiss the Tulips. I should probably put on a lip liner, huh? I can't wait to try these. I didn't bring a Sigma liner in. I couldn't remember what came in the collection. I have foundation on, I have eyebrows on, I have one of the Natasha Denonna's I Need a Rose lip in Calla. This is from like Calla Lily. I think probably out of the 3 that were the initial release, this is my favorite. Lip liner is on. To me, it is the perfect nude. Like, don't need any, I've been dropping stuff here. Perfect nude. It goes with everything kind of lip here. I know you're a little bit far away. Let's try the cream lip and let's see what this looks like. I think it almost looks like it has a little bit of a sheen to it, but maybe not. All right, that is an absolute perfect lip. The other one's like a really super sparkly dark one. We're gonna have to play, but right now I'm loving this. Okay, and then sometimes with Sigma, once you hit a certain dollar amount, they send you lips. I've gotten several of these now. This is the liquid lipstick in Venom. I think I've put this in a giveaway, so I might have to be starting another giveaway. I am gonna be doing a giveaway very soon, you guys. I'm so close. And I've got a big pile of makeup that I'm excited to gift one of you guys. So stay tuned. Help me get to, let's see, where are we at now? Let's try to get to 750, should be very soon. So let's do another big giveaway at 750 and then we'll do a really big one at 1,000. We good with that? Okay, this is the Cheek Duo. So I've got Tickled Pink and Paint the Roses. Ooh. And that one is very light for me. The picture on the back, I think that one must be Tickled Pink. Yeah, this one's Tickled Pink, and it has like the Queen of Hearts on it, and then Paint the Roses has a rose. The little protector is actually kind of cute. They've done very well with this collection. It's like a cardboard. It's not a metal, but it's got this cool holographic blue and purple stuff on it. Let's try it. Okay, so I'm going to use their cheek blush or cheek brush that came with this collection. It is a heavy handle. It feels super luxurious. Oh, what a pretty color. So I had just about decided I was going to do a low buy, and then Natasha came out with her Dream collection, and this one came out all at the same time, and then I went to Scotland. So I did not get these up the day that they were released. You probably have seen everybody else's video since this. That's the perfect blush for me. That's very pretty. And I didn't do any kind of contouring or bronzer or anything like that. I'm just leaving it with the blush alone, and I love it. It's great. Now, question is, and I didn't bring a brush. They didn't give me a brush in this collection that I thought would work really well as a highlighter, and I'm not normally a highlighter-y kind of person. Let me grab another one of my older brushes here. Okay, I'm gonna grab the highlighter and let's just see what that looks like. Kind of blush draping a little bit. Try to keep it out of my crow's line. Well, I mean, Sigma does highlighter as well, but I think this is just too glazed donut-y for me. I don't know that I love that as a highlighter. I don't think that's a brand. The blush is pretty, but so far it's the thing about the collection that I'm thinking, did I need it? Not sure. Hey, let's get into the star of the show. Let's get into the palette. Make sure there's nothing in the paper that they use. Oh my gosh, my husband's being like, hey, why do you have so much recycling when we just took these out? Okay, so this is the palette, and I don't buy every single Sigma release when it comes out, but I have the majority of them, which means I have a good collection of Sigma products. And I think I understand the brand a little bit better now. Cardboard packaging, 12-month shelf life, eyeshadow palette with dual-ended brush. So in addition to the brush kit, each one of these palettes does have a taken off the protective sleeve, has a dual-ended brush. We'll use that in addition to the other 5 brushes that I used today. That's the palette. And at first I thought, wait, does this look like the Cinderella palette? So let me grab that. Let's grab Cinderella and we'll compare Cinderella. Do I have it out here? I move some of my palettes around. So this is the Cinderella palette. Oop, brush is even still in there. That's Cinderella, and this is Alice in Wonderland. So what do we see here that are similar? Well, I see that we've got bronze and brown colors in here, and that too looks very similar, doesn't it? Doesn't look like that one. We've got kind of these teal greens that look a little bit like, we've got this teal green, and that one kind of looks similar to that. That one's a little bit of a lighter shade of a seafoam. These shimmers are starting to look a little bit like this one up here. My light seems a little bit off right now. We do have 2 dark, almost black shades in here. Interesting. This dark brown down here looks a little bit like this one. So now all of a sudden I'm thinking some of these look like they shifted from this matte purple right here. Seems a little bit like this kind of raspberry shimmer down here. They seem very similar, just like one of them is shimmers, one of them's matte. They're enough different. Like the teals, when I look at them straight on, one of the teals in Cinderella is more of a, almost like a navy blue. There's a silver in Alice that's not in Cinderella. And Alice has kind of like a mustard gold that you don't see in Cinderella. I love the Cinderella palette. This was one of my favorite colorful kind of changed colors of the Sigma palettes. But I love their quality, so I can speak on that. Let me scoot you in and let's play with some eyeshadow. I don't know what I want to do yet. Do I have time for 3? Do you guys want to see 3 looks with this palette? There's a couple shades in here that I'm deathly afraid of. One of them is the light blue, light frosty pale blue called Alice. I kind of feel like maybe we need to use that, scared of it. And then the Mad Hatter's like a seafoam green. Those are the 2 shades that are probably the most terrifying for me out of this palette. Whereas like the mustard yellow, I could maybe see using that. We'll just have to see what it looks like on the eyes. I normally am not, I don't usually swatch. I like to be just as surprised as everybody else. Not only by what comes out of my mouth, but what it looks like on your eyes. So this is not a palette where we necessarily go down a row for, because there's too many choices. And sometimes with the pairing of them, like I could see, okay, yes, we could pair, yes. Okay, so I can see pairing them up. If you're a two shadow person and that's all you need, I can see that. I think what Sigma does typically is they give them to you like in squares. So we have these two, this like quad right here. You've got this quad, you've got this quad, and then you've got your inner corner highlighter and your darker black to either make things more dramatic, smoke things out, liner, that type of thing. Which leads me to believe that I'm going to have to do 3 looks. Let's do 3 looks with this palette. I'm going to start with, I'm going to keep them as a quad because I'm predictable and stuff. Okay, I'm going to start with this shade right here, which is the Mad Hatter Seafoam green, and we're going to start with this kind of high as a transition shade. This is going to be the crazy eye look, huh? I didn't mean to do 3 looks today, you guys, with the whole collection. I normally would only do 1, but I think with the way this is laid out, makes sense. Okay, I can tell you right now, I think I saw one person's view or video on it, and I'm not going to do a look anything like what she did, because I saw it over a week ago. And it was right before, I think maybe I saw it at the airport as I was traveling. I've been gone, I've been out of the country. I'm gonna grab the dark teal in here. This one is called Caterpillar, a little bit of kick up. And so because I've been gone, I've been out of the country, I have not, and I've been on the move, I have not had a chance to actually view anybody else's video. So I don't really know what to expect, but I can tell you right now, 2 shades in, quality's great. That's sometimes not always to say the same about all the shades in a particular palette, but so far, I did build that up a little bit, and I'm using a little bit fluffier brush than I probably need. And with the look I'm doing about being too precise. Okay, the brush that comes in this palette is fantastic. No issues with the brush. Okay, we're gonna take the Wonderland shade, which is kind of like this sparkly blue. It's like a dusty sparkly blue. And we're gonna take here over the most of the center of the lid, movable lid space. That's a beautiful shade. I would absolutely wear that shade with just like a brown. That's a fantastic shade. Okay, now we're gonna take Alice, which is the lightest pale frosty blue. That right on the inner third. That's a really, really pretty color. That went on with much more richness than I thought it was going to. So we've got kind of like this mermaid vibe thing going on right now. We take the pencil brush. We're going to take the highlightery type shade in here called White Rabbit, and we're going to put Rabbit that. And I did bring that eyeshadow in a little bit further than I normally do. I'm trying to get my mind away from the fact that sometimes if I do eyeshadow too close in, it can make me look cross-eyed. I'm trying to challenge my own perception. Beautiful saturated colors. Maybe something like this for date night. In fact, let me grab... I'm going to grab a little liner brush, and we're going to take this dark sparkly black in here called Lost. I feel like I should probably wet brush it. I'm getting a little that, and I did switch away from the Sigma brush because the pencil brush. Okay, yeah, working out well here. So let's take a little bit more of Caterpillar, which is the matte teal here. Teal with brown eyes and kind of like medium complexion. Maybe a slight olive tinge like I do. I think really makes brown eyes pop. I think it really brings them out here. So, okay, let me put some mascara on. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, there is look number 1 with the Alice in Wonderland collection. It's this mermaidy, very bold colors. I think, you know what, if you're not afraid of bold colors, by all means, I'm going to grab a little bit more of that darkest black in here called Lost. And I'm going to go a little heavier right out here. I'm wearing all these dark colors. I'm like, let's make it more dramatic. Let's do that. Deepen it up a little bit. Yeah, that gives those blues and those teal colors just a little bit more depth. I am getting a little bit of fallout with that shade though. Bold and probably more intense than I would normally wear, but that's the cube that they gave it to me in. So that's what I kept it in. And I think that's fun. Would I wear this for date night? Maybe. I would probably maybe take this shade and that shade and wear it together, and then maybe do this as a liner. Those 3 I can absolutely see. The light kind of frosty blue that I didn't think I was gonna like, I think because it's a little bit more of a richer shade, more saturated, I think I got more use out of it than I originally intended to. Okay, we're gonna go into this next quad right here. This has a really, really beautiful, almost looks like an acid green called Tea Party in it. 10/6, 10/6, which I'm guessing is hat size, right? Was it the hat size from the Mad Hatter? Wow, that's a beautiful shade. You know, if I was gonna do a work look from this, I would say that that's my work look shade, my work appropriate shade. These brushes, I don't know what they're made out of. Maybe like a heavy acrylic painted. I don't think that they're wood. Maybe plastic, I don't know. They're nice heavy quality, and this purpley iridescent, psycho iridescence is actually kind of fun. I don't have anything like that in my brush. And then the actual brush quality feels like really nice Sigma Sigma brushes. They're super soft and easy to use. Okay, so that's one shade. That would be the shade that I would probably use mostly for work. I'm going to take the same brush and go into Curiouser. Hard time saying that word. We're going to use Curiouser. And out here to darken, because I do tend to do a smoky eye look anyway, so that makes sense. This is the shade I probably used for darkening up this one. I want to use that black with a dampened brush next. See if that doesn't give me a liner look. Okay, this brush, I probably should have kept it as a blending brush because it got a little crazy here. I got a little wide. Just try to trim that up a little bit here. Okay, that's all right. Now I'm going to take my finger and use this raspberry shimmer here called Cheshire. And here, yeah, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to take it a little bit higher too. I normally don't do shimmers too high into the crease, but because that other shade was so dark, I'm going to use this to kind of lighten up that lash line too. My camera turned off in the middle of me doing that. Rude. Okay, I've got this clean brush here. This is not, you know, the perfect blending brush because I used the wrong brush initially. This is a small crease brush, but I'm using it to kind of shear out that super dark shade. I didn't realize, I should have just by looking at it, but Curiouser is very saturated. It has a really pretty purple kind of undertone to it that I didn't see by looking at it here. Of course, it might be because I put that raspberry shade on top of it. But now we're going to go into Tea Party, which is like this acid green. And let's just see what this does to this kind of, oh my gosh, I love that shade. It's not really an acid green. It's more of a, like an olive green. And we're just going to feather this over too. Wow. I don't know if it feels like it's more of a topper because it's very, very sparkly, but I love that tone. Okay, these, I feel like I keep getting out of focus here. The purples and the green, I think is really kind of fun and unexpected. Let me take that original liner brush that I used and let's get it a little damp. Got some Milani Make It Last that I don't like to spray on my face because it's just too much of a shower. Okay, I've got the brush dampened. I'm going to go back into Lost, pick up a little bit of it with this damp brush, see how that, you know what, maybe not as rich as I would have liked. The last palette that I used is the Natasha Denona new release, the My Dream palette, and the black in there was so dark and so rich. Now I feel like I'm a little spoiled. Okay. After trying a few times, I got it to build up a little bit for me to actually use it as a liner. Yeah, that's okay. That's kind of fun and different, right? That's not a normal look for me. All right, what am I going to do down below? I think I might have to go back into 10-6, which is kind of, it was when I started off as my transition shade that I think quickly got covered up. But I think that makes a good shade for down here too. Okay, super fun. Fun and different for me. Not as dramatic, but definitely something fun that I would wear either for date night or for, you know, just kind of a fun daytime look. Let me put on some mascara and clean up a little bit and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I am back. Better one, better two. I feel like I'm at the optometrist's office. This is like me, but with a little bit of an edge. And I know that seems strange because, you know, you guys see me in a variety of different eyeshadows, but for me, I'm normally typically kind of a boring, a couple mattes and maybe a shimmer for normal everyday. This is super fun. This would definitely be something that I would wear for something fun and edgy. Next time my husband plays music though, that might be the shade, that might be the combination I use. This one is, you know, it's a little costumey for me. Everybody needs that every now and then, the crazy blue eyeshadows. We're gonna come back and do a third and final look using the last quad in this palette and give you my final opinion. Okay, we're cleaned up, a little bit shiny because of the stuff that I used, moisturizer and stuff, but we'll matten that up as soon as I get done here. Okay, so we're gonna take this mustard colored here. Do I have any more of the clean brushes? Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so I'm gonna take this mustard yellow pretty much over my entire lid. Oh wow, that is not as scary yellow as I thought it would be. That's actually could work for work too. As far as like and for work, what I normally do for work is usually a very minimal amount of eyeshadows in largely neutral tones. Sometimes I'll lean a little bit more grayish, sometimes a little bit more apricot, sometimes a little bit more peach, but always just kind of a brown shade. And I actually really like that. That's an unexpected shade for me because normally when I think of yellow eyeshadow, I think of jaundice, and that's not a good look for me. But actually, that's actually really pretty. How many times can I say actually? Yeah, I like that a lot. That's crazy. I would have thought this would have been like my, and it's kind of like a, I don't even know what to call it. It's not really marigold. What does she call it? Twinnings tea maybe? That's what I can remember it as. They're Twinings like everyday tea that you get. Never think to buy Twinings tea in the US. I'm assuming you can. Okay, I have a little mark on my eye and I noticed it on another look here, and I'm assuming it's just from trying several different looks all at the same time, but it could also be a benefit of of traveling and being a little jet lag. Okay, as an all over the lid shade, that actually is I don't mind that at all. I'm gonna take the darker kind of it's not raspberry, it's kind of a mauve, like a dark mauve shade in here called Queen of Hearts. See what this looks like. This could either go horribly wrong or it could be far so good. Wow, it went over the top of that gold very, very well, both formula wise and shade wise. Dig it. Yeah, super pretty. Really, really enjoying that. Okay, so then I have two shimmers in this section here. One of them is called March Mare. The other is called Mr. Walrus. So that's March Mare. I feel like that's going to be my favorite shade. Let's just see. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful bronzy copper shade. That and that Queen of Hearts is stunning together. Love those shades together. Wow. Okay, am I going to have a favorite shade in this palette or a favorite look? Maybe. Okay. Let me grab Mr. Walrus, which is, well, I think my camera died and I don't know if I caught any of that or not, but I used Mr. Walrus, which is that gold shimmer right here on the inner third. And I'm just taking a little bit more Twinings and just kind of buffing it along the top edge to show it peeks through. I'm thinking that this right now is a fantastic fall look. We definitely have these kind of sunsetty shades going on. And I think I'm coming up with a pretty good picking of what I like on this palette, what I think is going to work for me and what's not. I might darken up that outer just a little bit. I'm going to jump over into this second quad, which is grabbing Curiouser, and we're just going to darken this up just a little bit out here. Just going to go a little bit more dramatic, which means could go a little bit more bruise-like, a little bit more muddy. We'll just see. Yeah, I like that. That gave me my eye a little bit more definition. That made it a little bit more dramatic. You know, the smoky, dramatic eye look thing that I can't seem to get away from. I think I might have to grab Queen of Hearts. Let me clean off this pencil brush here. The Queen of Hearts was this kind of mauve-y color, and we're going to take that down below, which could have, oh, I've got the dregs of some blue, it looks like, down there too. Sometimes mauves and reds under your eyes can make you look kind of sickly, so its own personal preference. I don't mind that. All right, I didn't put the highlighter in. This almost seems like it's too crazy of a stark contrast, but let's just pop it on there and see. It's very much a frosty white shade, isn't it? Okay, let me get cleaned up just a little bit. Put some mascara on and I'll give you my final take, my final thoughts on this palette. Okay, you guys, I'm back cleaned up, slightly less shiny. Where did my other powder? I'm gonna grab a little of this Dior Backstage Powder No Powder on the powder brush that came in this kit. And let's see. Yeah, the brush is perfect. Really nice. Okay, the blush is perhaps a little too pink for this kind of the mustard and gold, but I think that with the Queen of Hearts kind of helped it out a little bit. Let's take a look at this darker lip gloss. Let's see what this looks like. Actually, that's nice. All right. It's a darker tinge with some sparkles in it, but not too dark for a lady of a certain age who's worried about using too dark of lipstick that can make your lips look smaller. I think this actually is nice. Okay, so let's break it down here a little bit. Like the lip combination. Yeah, like the lips completely. They're very, very comfortable. The blush duo, I don't love the highlighter in it. I'm just not a highlighter lover. You know what? Maybe this is the highlighter that I should have been using on my eyes instead of that frosty, really glacial white. Yeah, I think because this has a little bit of a pink tinge to it, that might be how I wear the highlighter, is just specifically like inner corner. If I were to do a brow bone highlighter, maybe just a little tiny bit here at the highest point. Give your eyes a little lift. Maybe, yeah, that would be about the time that I would use this as an eyeshadow, not as necessarily a highlighter in your cheeks. The blush I think is good. It's very purpley, and I don't mind that. It's just kind of dark, frankly. And I'm normally somebody who's kind of an over abuser of blush. So did I need a dark kind of purpley colored blush? No, super saturated. It looks mauve in the pan, but it went on pretty dark for me. As far as the palette goes, blushes are a slam dunk. I hate that they were so expensive. The only reason I bought the whole collection, I wanted the lips, I wanted the eyeshadows, I was curious about the blushes. The brushes to me were well, I don't really need the brushes. I don't really need the clutch, but for $50 more. I think it was $50 more than the other things individually. I could get the whole brush collection. And this was over $100, $129, I think, for these 5 brushes in the clutch. So very expensive in my mind. When you can buy good quality, who is it? BH Cosmetics, they do pretty good brushes. Profusion, some of those other brands do pretty good brushes for a fraction of the cost. It makes you hard to want to buy the eyeshadow palette. There's some things about this palette that I really like. I like the fact that they give it to you, you know, in quads or pairs that make sense. I like the fact that you've got a shimmer and a matte and a shimmer, a matte and a shimmer, a matte, a shimmer and a matte, a shimmer and a matte, a shimmer and a matte, and then these two are going to be your, you know, dramatic shades. My favorite shades in this palette are going to be this one right here, which is the one that's called Tea Party. Love that olive green sparkly. I think that's absolutely beautiful. And I absolutely love March Mare, which is this one right here. That's by far my favorite shade in the whole palette. And I also was pleasantly surprised by Wonderland, which is this one right here. Where's my clean finger? Wonderland. Let's watch that right here. Those 3 shades are the standouts, and they're all shimmers, which is unusual for me. It's unusual for me to fall in love with the shimmers. I think I'm most excited about March Mare and Queen of Hearts. Those are going to be like my perfect duo. This is going to be a little bit more of an edgy duo for me. This is going to be like date night, super fun kind of. These ones are going to be probably more accent colors. I think I'll probably use the teal as liner, and that's about it. This eye combination that I have on right now, it's fine. It's pretty. It's okay. It's definitely fall. I'm feeling fall right now. We're good with it. Now you know my favorites. My least favorite shade in this whole thing was this black down here, and it feels like a cream formula. I'm not really sure. It's called Lost, and I don't know. Maybe it would be better just on the lids. It went on okay. It felt a little chunky. I think it might be a cream formula. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I didn't do my homework. I don't do that. I like to be surprised, and I sure am. Okay, you guys, so tell me, did you pick up this? Were you super excited about it? I thought it would be fun and interesting. These swatches they're all kinds of pretty, aren't they? I thought it would be fun and interesting and would add something to my collection. I'm thinking now it's a lot like Cinderella. And if I had to choose between the two, let me look here. If I had to choose between the two, I think I would probably end up choosing Cinderella. Cinderella has more purples in it. I'm more apt to wear purples than I am all the teals. So if I were to compare the two palettes, I'm going to go with Cinderella over Alice. Hope that doesn't offend anybody. I hope that doesn't upset anybody. I don't mean to upset anybody. All right, there you go. There's my unprofessional opinion. I'm just a lady of a certain age who really enjoys eyeshadow. I want to do the best I can with what I have. And I wish you guys nothing but happiness. I hope you guys know that I really do care deeply about you guys. And I hope you guys consider sticking around. I tend to upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. I do travel, which means I travel for work and I travel otherwise. Just got back from a fun trip to the UK. So sometimes what that means is I do a lot of pre-filming, and sometimes I can't get things filmed the minute they're released. Again, keep in mind that I buy this with my own money. So in addition to fighting the whole fiscal responsibility, I also have time constraints, but I hope that doesn't deter you. And I hope that you know, if you guys request something, I will do my best to get it up to you as quickly as possible. I had some questions about this. People were asking my take on it. Now you have my opinion on it. And it's a lovely palette. I think it's going to work just fine in my collection. Is it my favorite Sigma palette? No, I don't think it's my favorite Sigma palette. But I think it's a fantastic palette, and I got a really kind of fun fall look. So I'm going to go rock my fall look and go do some other things. I hope you guys are doing really well, and until my next video, bye for now.